Oh, man. Dude, that thing's bad to the bone. Holy cow, man. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And the cat's out of the bag.
New tractor day.
New tractor day, and I guess you see what I got. Matthew right here from Salisbury, North Carolina, James River Equipment, and just go over the tractor, man. I don't want to talk much. I just want to just talk about the tractor.
Sure. So it's a 4066R.
Yeah.
This model is actually a snow cab version.
Yeah.
Which comes with a few more features than what the normal 4066R does, but it's basically a premium cab, so you get all the extra mirrors and air ride seat, all the nice parts of a premium cab. But with a snow cab, it comes from the factory with 4th and 5th rear SCVs on it.
Okay.
Which are what will operate your top and tilt.
Yep.
And then on the engine block of it, being a snow cab, it's got an engine block heater built into it, and a few other features. So it's a little bit heavier, has a beacon light on one side, because typically a snow cab's used for pushing snow, snow blowing, things like that, where you're operating around the road, so you do have a beacon light.
Okay.
You got premium lighting package, so you got front and rear facing.
I love all the lights on it, yeah.
And so it's got all the best of those worlds, and then with the way you've built yours out, we've got the turf tires for what you do, and then we've got all the bells and whistles when it comes to hydraulics. So you've got third front function, you've got 4th and 5th rear, power beyond rear, and we can go through exactly how to operate that and everything before I leave. But this is the Cadillac of the compact tractor world.
Yeah, well, I can agree with that.
The nicest thing that Deere makes.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a ton of great usage out of this thing, and it's going to serve well.
Yeah, cool. And I guess folks are going to ask, so I need to answer the question, why? Why did I go John Deere? Because I was looking at Kubota too. Why did I choose one over the other? They're both exceptional machines. I can get the job done either way. It boiled down to personal preference and some individual bells and whistles that I could get here that I like better, that seem to work better with what I do, and just me as a person liking to have a few extra little goodies. That was really the only thing. And
so I'll be the first to tell anybody that the competition does make a good product.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of those that's going to come on and say, hey man, it's orange, it's not good.
Yeah.
They do make a good tractor.
Yeah.
But when you narrow it down and talk about features and functionality, Deere has a few things that are exceptional in that area. Do you have to have? No, but they're really convenient.
They're useful and convenient.
Have them.
Yep.
And then there's the cost of ownership side of it. So if you really look hard at service intervals, filter changes, oil changes, all of Deere's intervals are longer than what the competition is. And it doesn't matter what color the competition is.
Gotcha.
So cost of ownership, while you may have a little bit more of a premium price at the front, over the life of the tractor, you're going to gain all that back.
Yeah, and then again, I want to stress it boils down to what fits your company, your business. In this case, my company, my business, and me as a person. What kind of gadgets do I want to touch and mess with and turn on and off?
Indeed.
And it's just there was more here, and that's why I went this way. And I cannot wait to use this thing, man. Holy cow.
I've been excited for you all morning, just sending you pictures and stuff.
That's right. That's right.
It's coming.
He's probably glad, hey, man, get this dude out of here. He has burned my phone up. Where's my tractor?
I enjoyed new delivery tractors just as much as the customer does. I mean, it's a fun time to see people light up and get excited about their equipment and what the possibilities it brings in doing
That's
work.
right. That's
I always
right.
tell every customer, especially folks that are going to just use it in their yard, you're going to dream up so much work for yourself.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Like, you think you have some purposes, but you're going to be like, oh, man, we could level that over there. We could do this over here. We could do that. So it really does open up the ability to do so much more.
Believe it or not, when I was walking through that door, I was putting jobs in my mind. What can I do? And I ain't even setting the thing yet. I'm already thinking about what I can do with it. So
well, you'll definitely enjoy that side of it.
Yes, and maybe let's start at the front, make our way to the rear, and then we'll jump inside.
Sure, we can do that. Starting at the front of the tractor, we've got a John Deere 400 quick attach as far as how you put attachments and implements on. So you got your materials bucket, which comes with the loader from the factory, and we did the HD bucket with the heavier loops and things like that. A little nicer bucket. And then you've got the AY11E 4-in-1. So we've plumbed you for your front third function. So it's right here.
Okay.
It's in nice and tight to the loader.
Okay.
It's not in a place where you'll get into any damage if you're moving limbs and things like that around. So the hoses that come off the center of that bucket, they're kind of tucked in behind that left cylinder.
Okay,
Here. And you'll pull those out and connect them here.
Okay.
And just try to route the hoses where they're, not going to be.
Well, not getting pinched or anything. I went with the 4-in-1 bucket strictly mainly for grading purposes. Because I like opening the bucket, tilting it over, using the back edge to cut and the front edge to feather. And I've run 4-in-1 buckets on Bobcats, skid steers, backhoes for years, and I'm a huge fan of that 4-in-1 bucket.
They're indeed probably one of the most versatile buckets you can do. There's root grapple buckets and other things you do differently, but you can do everything grading with that bucket and then do what most grapple buckets will do also.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just from that perspective, the only thing they don't do well is let material fall out of them.
That's right. Yeah.
So
cool.
But on the John Deere 400 hookup, you know how that works.
Yeah.
You just unpin your implement at the bottom here.
Got it.
Put it in the carrier, and then in the tractor, you're just going to roll the bucket out. It'll push the implement away from you and get you out of the J hook at the top.
So is there one pin, or should there be two pins in it?
It's one pin on each side.
I'm saying on the top and bottom. What's the second one down there for?
So this fork frame is built for a 4 Series or a 5.
Okay.
So you've got the rugged fork frame from a 5 Series tractor for a 4. So they put a second pin higher because when you go to the 500 hookup,
the bigger tractor, you need two of them.
Apart.
Makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
You would, on the 500, you'd be on the bottom pin, not the top.
That makes sense. Perfect sense.
But just unpin it each side, roll out, and back away. The only thing I'll tell you from that perspective is store your implements on as level ground as possible. Makes it a little easier. Getting back in and out.
As peculiar as I am, I'll probably keep them on a pallet.
Sure.
I keep things off the ground.
Well, that's the thing I do with my tractor. My forks stay on more than anything else, and I move stuff around with it. And that's what I tell every customer. If you're buying a tractor, you should really buy a set of forks. Because you're not getting everything.
That's definitely going to come in handy as much pallet things as we move around.
And then you've got the 440R loader, which is the highest lifting capacity loader in the compact class. It is removable. I don't know how much you'll have it off because a lot of your cases you're going to be moving material with it. But it is really super simple to take off. All you have to do is flip these up once you take the weight off the loader mount. And you do that by just pushing the loader into the ground.
Okay.
And then you pull that up on each side and then kind of curl back
Oh,
away
so this
from it.
this whole chunk goes
that
up.
whole chunk
Ah,
goes straight
okay,
up.
okay.
And then your feet right in here will go down on their own and
Okay.
lift the loader up off the tractor. Then you can turn the tractor off, get all your fluid out, and separate your hydraulic connections.
Okay. And all
those are-
that
All those
happens.
are right down here.
Oh, okay.
So your hydraulics are right down here, up out of the way. They're not going to be getting into a lot of stuff. Most tractors just have the 4, which is your up and down, curl in, curl out
Yeah.
function of the loader. But yours has the 3rd function in it also, so you've got 6 actual hookups up front.
Yeah, guy kind of went crazy with that, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
When you start using that, it's like a 3rd arm. You know, you can just go out there and grab whatever you need to.
Cool.
It's a good thing you've got the fenders, because that'll keep a lot of your dirt out of your hydraulic connection area,
Yeah.
so you have less to have to clean
Yeah.
off and get to and do.
And not to mention, they're just so dang sexy. They
do-
look
they do look
really,
nice.
really good.
You've got your fuel filter on this side as far
Okay.
as some of the maintenance things that you'll have. This is also where you check your gear oil in the front axle.
Okay.
And then there's your fuel off switch.
Okay.
If you need that from doing any of your maintenance, you know, draining the water out and that sort of thing.
Okay. Cool.
This is your battery box back
Okay.
here. So that's where that's located. And then just coming rearward on the tractor, it's going to get a lot more complicated real quick because how much hydraulics you got on this thing.
Yeah, I think somebody went a little overboard back here. Holy cow. Look at this. Look at that bird's nest, man.
So you have every hydraulic function that Deere puts on the tractor on this one.
Okay.
This is your 3-point up and down adjust from outside the tractor.
So I can be outside the tractor
and it'll go down with the tractor off.
okay. That's
That
sexy,
is
ain't
a
it?
really neat feature. It's on the 4s and your larger ag tractors. They don't have that on the 3s. And as somebody who owns a 3 cab, I really wish they did, because it's
Yeah.
super convenient not to have to get back in the tractor to do some up and down or not have to reach down.
Well, you can imagine it's blistering hot, or it's starting to snow, or it's starting to rain, or whatever. Man, I don't want to be jumping in and out of the cab. I want to. This is nice, so like you can hit the button and hook up and be done with
So
it.
all your hydraulics back here, this is your Power Beyond. So this is your continuous flow hydraulics. That would be what would operate a backhoe or a wood splitter with its own valve.
Yep.
Or any number of implements that need continuous flow hydraulic flow.
And with nothing on it, it's just a recirculation.
Yeah, so
it keeps going back
so
to
you've
itself.
got the P side here is the output and the R is the return.
Gotcha.
So you've got pressure running out and then back in.
Okay.
You can turn that on and off with a switch right there in the cab as far as when it has hydraulic fluid and when it doesn't. And I'll show you where that is later. And then on this side, you've got your 4th and 5th rear SCVs. So this is what, in your configuration, is controlling your top and tilt. So I believe the 4th is your tilt, this cylinder here,
Okay.
and then your 5th is this one. And you can swap those if you want, but just the way we configure it, it's nice and tucked out.
Now to level this out, the top and tilt, I'm gonna compress it all the way up, and then I know I'm
the way
level.
it is right now is your tilt's cylinders short.
Yeah.
And you can adjust that. Like if you want to be able to come up a little bit on that side and not be level,
Gotcha.
you can run this one down
Yeah.
to make this longer to where you can get a little bit of up on one
Okay.
side
That
and
makes
further
sense.
down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because that in every scenario you might not be able to work in the same direction.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
and that with it being adjustable on one side, sometimes you got to flip the tractor around and
Yeah.
do it the other way. But
That is really
you
going to
can
come.
make that longer.
That is really going to come in handy doing driveways.
Indeed.
Putting a little crown on it. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of applications where the tilt is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Saves you a ton of time. You don't have to get out of the tractor and adjust.
Yeah.
Crank,
Ditch
crank,
work.
stand back and look at it.
Yep.
You just in the cab, just go. And if you need a little bit more, you just
Bump it a little bit. Ditch work. Anything you want to put a angle to.
Sure. And so here's your PTO hookup. It's tight in here with everything you got.
Where's all that new paint?
Keep that cover on there
Yeah.
when you're not using it. Keep
Okay.
that good, nice and greased. Everybody who calls us with issues about getting their PTO hooked up, it's always because they
And
haven't
no
kept it
grease on it.
greased.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lubrication is important in everything, especially in tractors.
Yeah.
On 4R tractors, you do have your side draft links, which are quick pin adjustable. You can put that into a pinhole to keep it rigid, or you can put it in the slot, which will allow you
give it a little give.
movement back
Yep.
and forth
Yep.
if you don't want it to be a hard stop if you come into contact with something heavy.
Gotcha.
On this side of the rear,
Hang on, you're missing something really important back here that I really like. Is when I get all my attachments and all of them have the quick hitch thing.
Sure.
All I gotta do is just back up to it, pick up, and pew, burn the road
yeah, the
up.
iMatch is real simple.
Yeah.
You just throw it out on each side.
Oh yes.
And it'll drop clear away from the implement, and then when you're ready and when you're done with that, you can close it and pick up the next one. It'll automatically reset and be ready to go when you
That is cool. Okay.
They hadn't quite got that where that happens from in the cab yet.
Yeah.
Give them time.
I'm sure it won't be long.
And then a real important implement is the ballast box.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't put a whole lot of coin into those.
Yep.
Because they're like, I can put a box blade back there, or I can put so-and-so. But
Yep.
just driving your tractor around the yard with other machines real close, it was really nice not to have to look behind me to see, am I going to
Oh yeah, am I gonna hit something?
because the land plane's super long or the box blade's super wide.
Yep.
So it does give you really good ballast weight. You can fill that with a lot of different material depending on what your preference is. Some people put sand in them.
Yeah.
Some people put concrete in them. Obviously, concrete's a more permanent solution there.
Bricks, you can fill up with bricks if you
can
wanted
fill it with
to.
bricks.
Yeah.
But the nice
Fertilizer.
thing about it is if you're doing a certain type of thing, you can put. John Deere has some nice implement things where you can hang hand tools on it, chainsaws, all sorts of stuff. There's all these little brackets you can buy. They go into the quick hitch.
Okay.
2 little holes on each side.
Oh, okay.
You can get, a rake, a shovel, or this. Because as the tractor will do a lot, and when a skilled operator, you can really get good at it. There's always going to be that area that has to be done by hand.
I'm gonna need to hire that skilled operator. Find him.
You'll get there, trust me. So for this next feature, we're going to need to turn the tractor on. But this is your attach assist.
This is one of the main reasons that set me over the top and went Deere. This is just phenomenal. I love it.
I would easily pay $3 to $4 grand if they would put this on a 3 Series cab, which is the tractor that I own.
Yeah.
Because it is so annoying to get out and miss it by this much.
Yep, miss it by that
I have
much.
telescoping draft links. Every once in a while, the tractor will go back a little bit, and that's just not enough to get to it. But this allows you to move the tractor forward and reverse from outside the cab.
You can be outside the tractor with it running and back the tractor up just a little bit, pull the tractor to line up with your attachment.
You need to be close.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's a slow creep.
Yeah,
If
that's
you
right.
see it creep, you're going to be like, man, that's really slow.
Yeah. Well, that's safe.
Let me turn the tractor on and we'll show that moving right quick.
Sure. Quiet? Man, that thing's quiet.
So basically you have to start the tractor, have it in A range, put the park brake on, and then hit the shift assist on the dash, which is located right up next to the instrument cluster. Once you do that, your flashers will turn on your dash, and when you come out of the seat, you'll hear it beep at you inside the cab. Beep, beep,
That's
beep.
when you know it's ready.
That means it's
Gotcha.
in ready for hitch assist. So you come out here, you want to hold this button down,
Yeah.
and it gets real loud and annoying, but then you can hit your direction.
Stiff, ain't it? Oh, there it goes. Look at there.
Well, that's on the ground.
Yeah, it's on the ground. Raise that thing up. Oh.
Real easy, huh? So you can tell what I mean when I say get close on it.
Yeah. But that's all you need.
That's top speed.
Yeah, I'm good enough. And if I'm hooking up without the iMatch and I'm using the
Go
3.0,
forward too if you get a little too close.
yeah, I'm gonna get it that close. That is really sexy. I really like that.
But I can't tell you how many times I've hopped out of a tractor and back into it on models that don't have that feature.
Yeah.
It's a really
Pain in the butt.
awesome feature to have. Like,
yeah.
it
Well,
saves so much time and effort.
yeah, that's right.
Because you always miss it by just a hair. You're not missing it by a mile.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially once you've done it several times.
Yeah, so I'll never have to grab that implement and muscle it over ever again.
No.
I shouldn't have to anyway.
And then you've got your up and down here.
That's so freaking cool.
So each turn does a certain amount and then it'll stop.
Yeah.
And then you just got to push in on the
Push in and turn.
turn. If you do it with it out. it's not
Yes, you got to release the pressure. Push it in and
Push in, turn. And it'll go all the way from the top to the bottom.
that's cool right there, ain't it?
And then the same thing.
Make the job more easy.
So if you get back here and you want to change your hydraulic configuration and your arms are just kind of in the way, you can just easily get them
Yeah.
out of the way and then do what you need to do.
Sweet. So as far as outside the cab, gas tank, fuel tank, windshield wiper fluid,
Yep.
and then now this is nice. I like that's a light that shines
that's a-
straight down.
Well, it's technically a license plate holder because a lot of your snow cabs are on the road and in some states they have to have a tag.
I can put a GCI
But
turf.
You can put whatever you want to
Yeah.
up there. Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you want a rear work light that's a little more powerful,
Yeah.
I typically turn one of these down just a hair,
Gotcha.
and you can just loosen that bolt on the side to
Yeah.
come down.
Okay.
And on my tractor, I keep one pointed out and one pointed down, and I've
Okay.
got plenty of light in all directions.
Okay.
And you can figure out what works for you from the way you light it perspective.
Yeah. Okay.
But there is a little bit of light provided by that.
All right.
It comes on when you've got these on
Okay.
and your front lights on. It's integrated all into one switch.
Okay. Yeah, that'll help you a lot doing snow removal this year. Yeah. Okay.
It's a whole other side of the business.
Yeah.
It's creative.
Yeah. No, we do some snow removal. He's being funny, like he's gonna be in the tractor doing the snow. I'm like, what are you
Yeah, I'm
going?
trying to get this learning thing, man. Trying to
Yeah,
figure
you
it
need.
out.
Yeah, you need to go wash something and do something. I don't know. So the easy part, there's the key.
Yep.
Park and brake.
Brakes right here on,
Yep.
on the left side.
Yep.
Range lever here.
Range. Yeah.
This is going to be your highway or transport. This is where you're going to do most of your work when it comes to moving materials.
Gotcha.
And then here's your ground engaging stuff where you're going to be you know,
Yep.
grading a driveway or doing something like that where you're engaging the ground.
Gotcha.
Right next to your left heel, you've got your rear diff lock.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if you're in four-wheel drive and start to get stuck, don't feel like you're dead yet. You know, pop your locker down. He'll typically get you out of whatever
keep
you're
on
in.
Okay.
Keep in mind, you got to let go of that thing if you want it to turn.
Gotcha.
It's going to go in a straight line.
It's gonna lock it. Yeah.
Otherwise, here you've got your windshield wipers for
Yeah.
the front. Your rear windshield wiper is over there on your right-hand side.
Right.
there
Yep.
in the
Right here in the middle.
Yep.
Okay.
Your rear work lights are right there.
Right here.
Come in one more right
Here.
there.
Okay.
Your outside one is your beacon light.
Beacon. Okay.
So that's
okay.
this light right here above my head
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
outside.
Emergency light.
And that's just kind of like, hey, I'm here working. Those people see you, especially if you're around a ball field. You know, kids or parents might be walking by.
Yeah.
They'll see
Yeah.
the light going, and it kind of just keeps you a little bit extra safety
Gotcha.
from that standpoint. Then you've got your menu over here on this side. So we'll flip the tractor on, and all your check engine stuff and all your test lights will happen when that first comes on. When it's cold outside, you'll hear the glow plugs kind of start and get the engine warm.
Right.
So wait 10 to 15 seconds for that to happen before you crank.
Okay.
You can turn that off. That's getting your mic.
It's getting cold in here, boys.
It will. So your menu here displays all sorts of information. But like I was walking through with hitch assist, if you're doing something wrong, look here.
Okay.
Display will tell you what it wants.
Okay.
So then that's coming in or going out of any function. So the display knows what needs to happen and will tell you that. These are your turn signals left and right.
Okay.
So if you're riding down the highway and you need to use them, the four-way should be on all the time. But when you hit left or right, it'll turn off the four-way and put on your signal so that people behind you can still tell what you're about to do. Then when you hit it off again, your four-ways go back to doing four-way.
Okay.
So turn four-ways off. Then you got your menu here. You can go to ground speed if you want to see that, because a lot of this stuff you're going to be doing with like verticutters
Yeah.
and things is going to
Yep.
need a certain ground speed.
Absolutely.
Then it's going to go vehicle hours, PTO hours, soot level, so that's your DPF system on the engine for emissions, and that'll build up over time, and then it will tell you when it needs to go into a regen.
Gotcha.
The nice thing about a Deere is you can work straight through regen. There's rare instances where it's going to ask for a parked regen, but that's usually if you've skipped a few regens or something's gone wrong with the way it's doing that process. And then you've got your exhaust filter, which will tell you where it's at, and then engine hours, and then you're back to ground speed.
And those are the headlights.
And those are headlights. So this is kind of just your normal front lights, your two on the below the hood, and then this is hood, front, forward, and rear.
Ooh.
But you have to turn the rears on over there.
Gotcha.
So you don't have to run the rears all the time.
Gotcha.
But once you turn this on, those will come on.
Okay.
They're all in sync, so you can't turn the rears on without the fronts on.
Gotcha.
But that's how that works.
Okay.
These buttons here that's for parked regen. So that's a regen symbol and then park. And this is cancel regen.
Okay.
The reason they give you the ability to cancel is say you're in one of your buildings here working and you got to get done. You don't necessarily want all that soot pouring out into your building. So it gives you a way to cancel it. We tell you don't cancel that sucker more than once or twice, because if you cancel it a ton, it's going to block that filter up and make it has to go through a full cycle on parked regen.
Gotcha.
But that's what those buttons are there for. If you get an error code or something like that after a regen, sometimes the computer will want you to do a parked regen, and your manual tells you exactly how to engage that. You got to certain gear, certain park up, and RPM and all that. But that's what those buttons do as part of the regen process.
Cool.
This is your hitch assist button that we were talking about earlier. So when you want to turn that on, just hit up. Off is down here. If you forget to turn it off, look at this here, and it'll tell you.
It's on.
Hitch assist on, and you'll just hit it off, and then you'll have control again. Because if you try to get in it and use it with hitch assist on, your hydro pedals will do nothing. And you'll be like, man, what's wrong?
Gotcha.
Well, if hitch assist is on, it overrides the input in the cab, because everything's controlled by that button on the left rear fender.
Okay.
I'll walk around there and we can kind of talk about the other side.
Okay. Hey, what about this right here?
What about what? That's
my windshield wipers. And it's throttle.
That's not the
throttle.
Four-wheel drive.
Oh, that's my four-wheel drive.
So down is off, on is up.
Okay, and do I need to be in neutral to engage it, or can I just on the fly kick it up?
I usually put mine in neutral. I think you can kick it on the fly, but I always err on the side of stopping and being in neutral.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you're in a traction issue, stopping's not going to hurt you any. Once you go to four-wheel drive, which you'll probably have that in 90% of the time when you're using a loader, just the extra weight, it's easier to turn. But yeah, there's a lot of times, especially turning tighter, or if you want to use your cutting brakes,
Gotcha.
you need to be out of four-wheel drive. In four-wheel drive, cutting brakes won't.
Exactly.
Drag a tire.
Exactly.
And to use cutting brakes, just flip that little lever there, and you're right and left at that point, and then when it's that way, you're tied together.
Sweet. There's my forward and reverse, back and forth, and this is kind of where all the business happens right here.
This is your main control center for everything hydraulic that we've put on this tractor with you. Your joystick for the loader is typical loader joystick, but you'll notice you've got buttons here.
Oh yeah.
That's for your front third function.
Gotcha.
So open and close.
That is so convenient to have it right there on your thumb. I love
Indeed. And it just makes it where there's not something else you're having to search for.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't do a Deere version, a WR long kit would have another button over here off to the side, and you'd have to take your hand off the steering wheel and go, you know, it just gets cumbersome. So the way this is integrated into the joystick makes it real comfortable.
Nice.
This is your 3-point height, and then these are your rear SCVs that'll control your top tilt.
Up, down. Up and down.
And you've got repeatability too, so you know, if you get to doing something with a verticutter or any other implement and you want to go to the same height,
all you do is lock that tab down,
scroll that tab to where you want it,
boom,
and then
it stops.
You can effortlessly go back to that without having to look at the number and see, am I right at 2, or do I need to be at 2.5? You can just adjust that and
that is very cool.
Real simple but important feature when you're doing grading work, to be able to go back to.
So is this the top? This pitches it like this, and then is this my
So
my
this
tilt?
is your fourth, and this is your fifth. I think I said out there the fourth was your tilt. So
Okay.
tilt's going to be in here to you,
Tilt's here.
and top link is here.
Top link's here. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Now, if I want to change those, and
All you got to do is unplug it.
switch the hydraulic lines
You
back
want
there.
to be doing top over on this handle,
yeah.
just because it's into you and it's
Yep,
closer.
yep.
You just switch the lines from fourth to fifth.
Gotcha.
Anytime you switch lines or unplug, tractor needs to be off.
Yep.
Take all the pressure out of the
Take
loader
all
if
the
you're doing
pressure.
on the loader
Yep,
end.
yep.
And out there, if you don't have the tractor off, you're going to get a hydraulic bath, and that's never fun for anyone.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. Been there, done that.
Yeah, we all have, either through a hydraulic hose failure or a moment of brief stupidity.
Yeah.
This is your PTO. So
Yeah.
the 4 Series and all other compacts, kind of excluding the D Series and the 3, have a live PTO. So that
Gotcha.
means no matter what your input is on the pedals, or if you have a power reverser and you clutch it, the PTO still spins.
Gotcha.
It's a more modern version of a PTO. Your older tractors, when you clutch them, the PTO either
Typically
is
cuts
completely
off,
out,
yeah.
or you've got a dual stage clutch.
So
where a
if I
doesn't-
stop the machine and I need the attachment to quit working, I either need to turn this off or pick the 3-point hitch up while I'm stopped.
Sure.
And then cut it off. Okay, I got you.
And if you hear anything loud, like you run over something,
Cut it off.
pop that button down
Yep,
right
yep,
as soon
yep.
as you can. We talked about these buttons here as far as what they are, but that's your rear work lights, your rear wiper, and your beacon light.
Gotcha.
This is a warning light for hydraulic temp,
Okay.
and that's because of the power beyond. So this is where you turn your power beyond on.
Okay.
So you flip that forward and you'll hear a change in the pitch back there, and if you touch the hose you'll feel the fluid
Yep.
running through it.
Yep.
But that's your continuous flow rear power beyond. This is a button that utilizes the third function in the front and can return you to a closed position or something a little bit quicker.
Okay.
There's a couple of features for that depending on what you're running
Gotcha.
as to how that one will work.
Would this come into play with my 4-in-1 bucket?
It could, from a standpoint of hit it and it full opens and then turn it off and then you're back to joystick control. So
Okay.
there's
Okay.
uses for it.
Yeah.
That's not really its intended use, but
Yeah.
that's what that one is.
Gotcha.
It's really more what the tractor has on it
Gotcha.
as to what that is, and it's in the manual. You can look at
Okay.
exactly what it does.
Cool.
And this is the pad that 90% of people don't know what it does
Okay.
and how it works.
It's probably the most interesting pad in the tractor.
It is the most feature-rich
Yeah.
pad in the entire tractor.
Okay.
So, up top here, you've got basic cruise control. So when you turn on, I don't know if it'll light up. It will. So
Yep.
when you turn it on, that's cruise control on, just like you do
Gotcha.
in your car. Turn cruise control on. Your set button here is your decel button, and your resume acceleration button over here.
Gotcha.
So just like your car, if you
Yep.
want to slow down, tap that. If you want to speed up, tap that.
That's so sweet. Yeah.
It usually does about like a couple tenths of a mile an hour each time you hit it.
Yeah.
And it depends on what range you're in as to how much the difference is in
Right.
one click versus the next.
Okay.
So that's cruise control. An awesome feature when you're doing something where you want to maintain a certain speed. It'll work
Absolutely.
at the slowest of slow paces
Yep.
in A range, and it'll work at the high.
Aerovator work or verticutting work.
If you're
that's-
doing something like mowing where you want to go a little faster,
Yeah.
you don't want to have input on the pedal, you can do that and give your foot a break.
Yeah.
You're not sitting there having to maintain the same position.
Yeah, mowing.
The first gear cog with auto in the middle of it is what we call load match. So load match is when you're going into a pile or there's going to be more torque on the tractor. You can turn that on, and the tractor will sense the load and throttle up and even gear down if needed to prevent the tractor from stalling out. In the middle of the dial there with the arrow and the max, that is speed match. So think of that as a limiter for speed. So it's not cruise control, but it's a limiter. So say with the verticutter you don't want to go any faster than a half mile an hour. You can set your cruise, get on a half mile, and hit the max speed match button, and it will allow you to set the top limit of speed. So you can go slower, but it'll never let you go faster than that. And the next button you've got there is the E throttle. So when you click that auto button on, instead of having the throttle at a particular spot, you would just push the pedal down, and as you push, the tractor will give more throttle, It's a fuel efficiency thing, fuel savings, and it keeps the tractor operating quieter. Then the bottom part of that, where the dial is, that's called motion match. Right in the middle is about just standard. So when you take your foot off the pedal,
Okay.
the tractor comes to a stop.
Gotcha.
No input on the pedals is basically neutral in a hydro. When you dial it all the way over to this side, that's the longest rollout. You see how these arrows point out?
Yeah.
So when you let off the pedal, the tractor will come to a stop, but it'll coast a little bit further.
Yeah.
More of a gentle stop instead of all in the middle. And then all the way to this side is more of a abrupt stop. And when you throw that from one to the other, you'll notice it.
Okay.
When you do this and you let off the pedal, it's like you put the brakes on.
Yeah.
Even without putting the brakes on.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a useful feature if you're on a hill and you don't want to roll.
Yeah.
Or if you're in a barn or a shop or something.
You need a dead stop.
And you need to come off that pedal, you need the tractor to quit running. And then there's, from an operator comfort standpoint, maybe you don't want it to come to a complete stop all at once.
Yeah.
So you can adjust the rollout with that button there.
Okay.
90% of customers with an R-Series tractor have no clue what half those buttons do, and they don't even use them.
Well,
but they are very neat features.
You can bet I'm going to use them.
I use the cruise control every day.
You can bet I'm going to use it because I love that.
It's an awesome feature, and the load match and the throttle match and all that is great too if you're in the right application for it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then one of the other coolest features is your Bluetooth radio. You will notice a mic up there. So you can program your phone into that. You can take calls on it.
Oh, that's got a dang microphone.
You can do everything you do in a normal pickup with that one.
Yeah, we can still call him while he's in the tractor.
You can still call me while I'm in the tractor.
If he ignores you then, you know he's just ignoring you.
Where's Pete at? He ain't answering the phone. Yeah.
He's rocking out and doesn't want to.
That's right.
Well, we got guests coming.
Light. And then obviously one of my let me say this. I've been busting my tail for 20 years in the heat, sweating like a dog.
Oh yeah.
And to me, that's one of the greatest parts about this tractor is I can work in comfort.
When you're running a business, that takes a lot of the fatigue out of what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Immediately.
Hey, where'd you get that John Deere hat at, boy?
Where's the mine?
That's my hat, dog.
He's in there.
Oh, okay.
Hey, everybody likes a John Deere hat.
Yeah, that's right.
I might know a guy that can hook you up with another one.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. Some people don't think that much about AC and heat, but when you work in the dang heat for 20 years and you sweat like a dog, that's a big deal.
The nicest equipment money can buy, but air conditioned steel, it's nice.
AC's right, boy.
Even if you don't run a business, though, the ability to do tractor work and get out and not need a shower is pretty nice. Like when I'm working on an afternoon and I got a meeting at church or a meeting at somewhere I got to get to, I don't have to budget 30 minutes to get a shower, get dressed and changed. I can just hop out of this, hop in my truck and go.
That's right.
So it's
say I ain't never got to take a shower again, babe. I can just work in the tractor all day, every day, and never need a shower and go wherever I want to go.
Be careful how you say that. My wife would tell me, all you did was ride around a tractor all day.
That's right. That's right.
It wouldn't work. It was fun. I was like, well, it still worked.
Take a shower.
That's right.
But that's pretty much it on the details level. And if you ever forget any of that, like I tell every customer, because you will, because it's like drinking through a fire hose, just give me a buzz, we'll walk through it. And
well, I can come back and watch this video.
Indeed. Yeah. Everybody that doesn't know how to run one.
If you don't know how to run it now, and of course we're going to show this bad boy quite often, so because I plan on using it right much.
Well, hopefully it serves you really well for a long time. The only feature we didn't talk about, because the seat's already up because Robin was in it, is the air ride seat.
Let me hop out.
We probably need to turn it on really if you're going to sit in it, but we can point out what it is.
Yeah.
So in on this button releases the air out when you got weight on it.
Yeah.
And then out releases, and then in pumps it up.
Gotcha.
And that's just your air ride in the seat. You can adjust where the seat is forward and back.
Yeah.
With this little lever here on the side.
Nice.
And then this is your rock shaft control. So rock shaft control is what determines how quickly your implement goes up and down.
Yeah.
because if you got a big verticutter on there, it's going to drop like a rock if you have it adjusted for the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
So plus and minus there, crank it up for more pressure or slower descent. And down for less.
So really, in theory, the heavier the implement, the slower you want it to go, and the lighter the implement, the quicker you want it to go.
Then speed matters too. It depends on what you're doing. Like if you're grading the gravel out, you want that thing just to go straight back
up
down,
and down
get
quickly.
It going.
Doop. Yep.
If you're dropping a real expensive implement, you don't want to slam it into the ground every time.
I've been looking at an aggravator for it, and talking about an expensive implement, that's one of them. Holy cow!
Get one of the first products.
Oh yeah, that's the only way you can go.
Push that little D10 in, and your hood will lift up. Your air filter's here, right on this side. That's your vertical exhaust that we have on this tractor because of the fenders. Right. Some of them have a side exhaust, but with the front fenders on there, you can't do the side exhaust. Gotcha. You've got all your cooling package in here. This is your intercooler for the turbo, and then your radiator, condenser, and all that in line.
Can I upgrade to a Whipple supercharger?
It'll probably void your warranty.
Okay. No, we're not going to do that yet. Then we'll wait.
And when you get to the 66s, they have an intercooler. That's why your battery's right in here. Yeah. When you don't have an intercooler, but then it goes to the side of the tractor in a box when you get the intercooler.
Yeah. So basically on maintenance, I mean, I'll definitely keep an eye out, check on the oil, and keep a check on the air filter. But man, something like this, I take it to the dealer and say, you go over the machine and change the oil and all that.
Filter's on the back. Yeah. Up above the window.
Okay.
That one, just use your judgment there. If it's really dusty, change that thing out, or at least take it off and vacuum it out and spray it out. Your service interval quick reference is right here under the hood. Okay. Kind of tells you when and what. It's really by how you use it. So, if you're doing a ton of materials work, probably need to grease the loader a little more often than what the manual says. If you're operating in really dusty, heavy conditions, you want to grease things a little bit more.
And basically grease fittings are at every pivot point.
Yeah, and they're all on the outside and they're all inside the weld ring. So
that's nice.
They're all protected.
Yes, I like that.
Everywhere. Okay. So you're not going to catch a grease zerk on a tree limb or something like that and crack it or pop it out and how your grease come pouring out. Okay. They're really nice and protected.
On the axles or the hubs on the axles or the grease fittings there?
There is one grease fitting. And don't take my word at this, I may be wrong because I don't have a 4, but there is a grease fitting at the pivot point on that axle that 90% of customers never touch because it's under the dead center of the tractor.
Oh, mine will get greased.
Get under there and do it. But you got that there. All these, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 7 on each side. And then back on the rear, you've got grease points on all
everything that pivots.
Moves and pivots is going to have a grease zerk on it. I don't think you've got.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Here.
That's a good tip. If you have a machine, you don't know where all the grease fittings are, walk around the machine everywhere that moves. Look for a grease fitting.
And one of the features that a lot of folks, and Deere doesn't even talk about it much, but the 4 Series has final planetary drives. So instead of a traditional axle, that's going to need a little more work, and it's basically the technology that's in the 5 Series for an ag style tractor, but in the compact. So it's overbuilt planetary final drives, so your gears and everything are top notch, and they're going to hold up. That's where you get the capacity out of this one. You jump from about a 1,200 pound capacity in a 3 to 2,500 pound capacity in a 4. And it's the way it's built to handle that extra weight and extra power and everything that it can give you.
Cool.
And then to close this, just push up on it a little bit. Down.
All right, my dude. Thank you.
No problem.
I want to thank Matt and James River Equipment in Salisbury, North Carolina, John Deere, for especially you guys, you and James River, helping me get all this set up and get owning my first real deal tractor. I had a tractor back in the day, but it was a little teeny tiny. Do you remember that tractor, babe? It was like you could flip it over. It was so small.
Yanmar tractor?
It was a little Bobcat.
Little Bobcat.
When Bobcat started first making tractors, it was one of their little tiny ones. I say that to say we've come a long way, and I appreciate everything you guys have done to help.
Everything you've built and all the hard work, that's what you get when you put in hard work.
When you work hard, you're diligent with your money, and You honor the Lord with your money. You know, stuff like this can happen.
We
So
can get there.
yep. So I'm thankful and grateful, and I cannot. Do we have anything to do tonight?
Liam's championship game.
So the championship game for softball, tractor championship game.
Oh yeah, I get a lot of phone calls and texts when
I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do.
Going, hey, you know we got to leave in 20 minutes. Right?
Where's the game at? Greensboro? Kernersville. Can we drive the tractor to Kernersville? Please.
Yeah, it'll take you.
Highway speed.
Highway speed. Come on, me, you, and Jax. We can fit.
Top
Let's
speed's
go.
about 20.
Hey, we'll throw Jax in the ballast box back there in the back. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. There's my tractor. You're going to see a ton of footage on it. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Golly.